Hey, Chris Liepe here with Marc Martel.
Your arms are down, say the word, and my life will follow.
And in this video, we're talking about vocal care, vocal health, overall health, and
so important.
How it all plays into
Yeah.
everything else. And if you want to go deeper with this sort of stuff and see how the habits that Marc has have really played out in his voice, click the link below and join his free warm-ups course that you've developed over years and years.
Yeah.
What's it called again?
It's called Marc Martel's Vocal Warm-Up so that your voice doesn't bite the butt.
Oh, we almost got it! Your voice doesn't bite
I was so close!
Doesn't bite the dust.
Marc Martel's Vocal Warm-Up so that your voice doesn't ride the bus. For you Weird Al fans.
So, vocal care.
Okay, this is a big one for me, and my main concern, especially when I'm on a tour. The two biggest components, sleep, hydration. Number one, if I'm not getting those, my stress level rises because I know for a fact that I'm not going to be able to perform day in and day out. And so I got to make sure I'm getting at least 8 hours of sleep at night. I'm drinking a lot of water, alcohol in moderation. But I've learned a lot of this, especially more recently. I was on tour in Germany in early 2020. And I got sick. It was a cold or something. It wasn't the flu. Who knows what it was? We'll never know. But I did get sick, and I've sung through being sick many times in my life. I've sung through the flu, sinus congestion, you name it. You know, even if my voice isn't working 100%, I can get through the show. I know how. But this one got me, and I believe it was mainly due to the jet lag. I wasn't sleeping. And I think I was drinking enough water, but the sleep just wasn't happening. I was on a bus, and these European tour buses, they put the sleeping compartments on the second floor, so there's more rocking,
Right.
actually,
Yeah.
on a European tour bus than there is on an American tour bus where you're sleeping lower to the ground. That eventually took a toll on my voice about, I think it was 5 or 6 shows in, or something like that. And we actually had to postpone shows, which was the first time in my 20-year career where I had to. And it was my own personal nightmare, honestly. I had to cancel the first show 15 minutes before doors opened, 4,000 people in this arena, and we had to turn them back. I pretty much had an emotional breakdown. Called my wife, and I was just like, I don't want to be here. What am I doing? I've let so many people down, so much pressure. And when you know it, I got back on my feet, took 9 days off, actually went to see an ENT for the first time in my life, got to see my vocal cords, got the scope put down my throat, and that was very educational for me. Took, I think it was 9 days off, got back on the road, and the second show in, lose my voice again. Had to postpone again. And that's when I realized, okay, I need to get real serious about my vocal warm-ups and my vocal health. Even though it was already something that was super important to me, I knew I needed a new element to my vocal regimen, which now you can check it out in the vocal warm-up course.
Yeah. It's amazing how by the time you're reminded that you need the sleep and that you need to drink enough water,
It's too late already.
It's too late.
Yeah.
So it's something that you have to be really proactive about.
That's right.
Or it's going to bite you, especially when you have all these wonderful sicknesses going around.
Oh, yes. Now, keeping track of how much you're speaking throughout the day is also important because,
For your overall vocal health.
yes, if you know you're going to be singing, speaking is actually more tiring for your voice than actually singing is.
Certainly can be.
Yeah.
Especially if you're always speaking in the same place because
Right.
you're only, really using one area of your voice, and
That's right.
that can cause not only extreme boredom for the people listening to you, but actually tire your voice out more. So if you're singing up here, you want to be talking differently. And even when listening to you talk, I mean, you went up into your head voice a little bit when you just said that last. You have this. You talk like a singer in that you're not speaking monotone. You're bringing your voice up and you're bringing your voice down.
Exactly. Make sure you're using all the aspects of your range. You're not tiring out just one. After a show, I've been told a couple times by people who teach voice, they're like, you're using your voice correctly right now because you're speaking in a lower register than you just spent 2 hours singing. So I'll do a whole show of la la la, and then after the show, I've got to talk to people a lot of the time, and so I find myself talking down here quite a bit.
But you're still rangy there. That you're not going. Well, I'm not talking down here, and you're not stuck down there. Even when you just said here, you're still throwing your voice up.
Yeah.
You're focusing on a different area.
Right.
That's really key.
Yeah.
Talking low doesn't mean breaking into monotone because that's going to work against you.
Yeah.
So we talked about exercise in the last video, and that being a lifestyle component that isn't like directly related to singing, but really informs your ability to perform well. Mm-hmm. What about diet?
Yeah.
In this whole thing?
Yeah.
Do you have any special? Don't eat carameled apples right before. Do you have anything like that? Or?
So much about being a singer is informed by your whole lifestyle, right? It can't just be one thing. It's got to be an all-encompassing thing, and diet is definitely very important for me. It's, I do better at certain times. Sometimes I don't do so great. One thing about especially the North American diet, we eat so much more than we need to.
You're talking about just even portions.
Just portion control, yeah. And I've even in the last year, I'm a man in my 40s now. I've got to be extra careful with cholesterol and all that stuff. And so I've implemented personally intermittent fasting. And so I really usually just eat 2 meals a day. It took me a couple weeks to adjust to that. Like my blood sugar before that, I'd get hangry in the middle of the afternoon on a regular basis. And now I don't because I think my sugar levels are better. Mm-hmm. And I don't have to eat as much. And I feel lighter on stage. I try not to have a big meal before going on stage. I know a lot of performers, even not singers, don't like to have a big meal before going on stage because it weighs you down a little bit. And I try to live by that a lot of the time, but sometimes the day of a show can be hectic and you've only got a certain amount of time to eat, and sometimes you have to have that meal right before going on stage, and often I do. And I just kind of burp through the show. But diet, as far as particulars in the diet, don't eat a bunch of dairy before the show. I mean, I don't really drink milk anymore, but I love cheese. Cheese doesn't seem to affect me much. Does it affect you?
No.
So have as much cheese as you want.
You eat a huge pizza right before.
Right before, yeah, absolutely. But what else can I say about diet?
What about indulgences? Because I think it's easy when you're, okay, well, don't eat this, don't ever eat that, don't drink anything, don't smoke it. There's all these things that you were told not to do, but as humans and as people who like to enjoy food and life in general, you're gonna have a bag of chips. Yeah. You're gonna have an alcoholic drink.
Yeah.
You're gonna do these things.
Yeah. And moderation is more difficult for other people. People have different tendencies, but even moderation can be an addiction. And as someone so wisely said here, but that definitely can be my experience. I've got to be even Steven all the time. Like I can't go to extremes, and sometimes my addiction is moderation, and sometimes I need to get a little crazy every now and then. But
so just do that when you're not having to sing the next day, or
exactly.
Have a little fun, and then be mindful and listen to your body. Know what's coming, and this for you especially. Yeah. Being able to sing, so you don't have to cancel shows. Absolutely. Is top priority.
Right. Absolutely.
But that doesn't mean that you just don't drink or that you don't have pizza or whatever.
I'll, if I want to unwind after a show, often I'll have a drink, and I don't have alcohol before a show because not only does it dry me out, it also can affect my pitch. Like I'll find sometimes if I'm working at home in the studio and in the middle of a vocal recording, I'll say, yeah, man, it'd be nice. It's 5:00. Maybe I'll have a drink, and I'll go back to continuing on that vocal performance and find whoa, I can't really tell if I'm hitting that pitch perfectly or not. So it not only can physically affect your vocal cords, but also just your ear. gets affected by alcohol. It's, so be very careful with that. I avoid alcohol when I'm performing, period, because it even affects me cognitively, like with my lyrics. So it's just not a good idea for me. But smoking, less of a deal these days. Let's be honest, especially for singers. I think that's the number one thing we all know can affect our voice. I'm not a smoker. I have the occasional cigar, but smoke definitely ixnay.
Nice.
Especially day of show.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, thank you. If you'd like to go deeper with Marc, click the link below. Learn how to warm up like Marc warms up. What's the name of that again?
It's called Marc Martel's Vocal Warm-Up so that your voice doesn't bite the dust.
You got it!
Boom!
Click that link below. Join that free course. We'll see you for more.